Hi everyone, this is Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop, and I have my Tarot Oracle board here, and we're going to do some readings. Okay. So as you can see, it's a board with tarot symbols from the Rider-Waite deck, and I have 5 pawns from a chess game. Okay, so each one represents a different thing. So we have the bishop, which represents spiritual connection, soul connection. We have the rider or the knight, which represents the person's proposal or interest or desire to pursue someone or not. We have the tower, which can be our distance from someone or feeling detached, but it could also be our erection for someone if he's interested in you sexually. So this one represents sex, erection, desire, lust. And then we have the queen, which is our female client. And then we have our king, which is our male client. So let's see what we get. Now I'm going to do Melania Trump and Donald Trump as our subject matter of this reading. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle the pawns and drop them on the board. Okay, so what's happened is Melania, the queen, jumped right out of the board. So this is telling me that she's not really into it, because this is about Melania and Donald. So the queen, the woman, is not into it at all. She's jumped right out of the board. Okay, so I'll put her there. Now let's look at desire first. Let's look at the knight's desire. Now the knight is our ability to pursue somebody, okay? And he's landed squarely on the devil woman. So his desire, Donald Trump's proposal, interest and desire is devilish. It's chained, it's lustful. Okay, so he may be lusting for Melania, but there's also a feeling of chained up, not being able to express that. I mean, it could be sexual as well, because the devil card can be sex as well, but it's usually like not wholesome sex. Okay, so perhaps his desire is to have sex. Now, if we look at the bishop is literally on top of the tower image. The bishop is our spiritual connection, and it's on the tower, which means destruction. So to me, I would read this as their spiritual connection is quite broken down. Okay, now the tower, the chessboard tower, is squarely on the naked woman star. So this is his erection. I would see this as he's attracted to other women, because his connection to her is not even in the board. So she's like out of the picture. And he's desiring sex with the devil woman, and then his erection is for another naked woman, blonde perhaps. His spiritual connection to Melania is broken down or breaking down. Now the interesting thing, the card that represents our male client in this case is Donald. He's over here, way over here. So Melania flipped out of this side of the board, and he's on the edge of this side, which shows distance as well. And he's actually literally not touching or on top of any symbol. So this would indicate he's not really involved with her. That's how I would read that, because he's basically in no man's land, right? He's right on the edge as well, and he's not really on top of any symbol here. Okay, so that shows you how it works. Now I'm going to do another one. Let's do another couple. Let's do Joe Biden and Jill Biden. Let's see what these two get up to. Okay. Okay, so now we've got the king, the queen, the knight and the tower, and the one that's fallen out is the bishop. Now the bishop is, like I said before, the spiritual connection or soul connection. So that's interesting that that's flipped out, because those two are known for being quite Catholic and, you know, very much about, well, I know Joey's, I'm not sure about Jill, but I suppose she would follow suit, very much about spiritual things. So that's missing. So I'm not sure what that's actually saying. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps their soul connection's a little bit gone AWOL. Don't know. So I would say there's something missing there on a spiritual level between the two. Okay. Now, if we look at Jill, the pawn has landed on the snake. The bit of it's landed on the snake, and the other part of it, the top part of it's landed on the female lover, which is showing here perhaps there was some toxic stuff going on with the snake, but she's sort of, you know, she's sort of connecting to the lovers here. This is also Eve. You know, it's a woman with a snake. So there's a feeling here of snaky energies. This could also be, snake could also be enemies. There may have been enemies around them or around her perhaps. But she's squarely on the lover, female lover. Now, Joe's on the strength, on the lion, but the tail end of the pawn is on the devil. So he's come out from the devil, which is showing some negative or bad habits or toxic issues, but he's standing in the strength card mainly, on the lion in particular, which is courage to me. So they seem to both have had their problems, but they seem to also be upstanding in some way, because they're both quite strong characters in this image. Now, the knight is squarely on the hermit. The knight pawn is on the hermit, which to me would indicate their sexual proposal, interest, desire is very flat or even boring. Probably no sex would be the way I'd read that, because this is almost like I want to ride somebody, right? And it's the hermit's more like on their own. Now the erection, which is the tower pawn, has landed also on top of the tower image. So this would indicate to me like erection malfunction. The tower pawn represents sex, erection, and attraction in the sense of wanting to have sex with someone, right? But it's on top of a broken down image, which is saying probably their sex life is not really much going on there. Okay, so if I was to sum up this one, I would say that they've both overcome many difficult situations to sort of be standing in their own way or power, say, but the sex side of their relationship is very non-existent. Okay. Alrighty, well that was a show, that was an example of how to use the tarot board. This is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop.